Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Steadman. We got a lot of things to get to, so I'm going to talk real super fast. First of all, this segment is brought to you by Tim Goodwin Chiropractic, located near the Treehouse. Holy Lord. What's going on over there?
He's turning the Hulk and ripping microphones off.
Right. Well, look, Brandon Ruiz, first of all, I want to get your answer to the poll question. Utah MMA Mount Rushmore. Who's on there?
First and the biggest head would be Mike Stidham, and not because I'm on the show, but I've always been a big how do you say fan or believer in what the UCE does in terms of developing fighters, and guys complain a little bit. Oh, well, they don't have these guys that are world beaters. I'm like, well, yeah, but you look at every tough fighter that Utah's ever produced: Melendez, DeMarcus Johnson, Berkman, Jordan Smith, all of these guys, and there's probably Derek Downey, all these guys. I can't think of any more, but
there are a lot of
all
them.
These guys. Yeah, a ton of them. A ton of these guys that are UFC or that kind of quality have all fought in Stidham's show. And
who's next? Let's move on.
Sorry. Okay, so Stidham, and then I would say next would be Jeremy Horn for just adopting Utah, and he's put out a lot of really tough guys. Developed a lot of really good local boys.
See, and I agreed with Jeremy being considered, but most of what he did in his career, he did before he moved here. And then,
yeah, and that I say that for more helping start to develop the Utah guys and adopting Utah as his home state.
All right, who's next?
After that, I'd have to agree with Pedro Sauer, just the guys that he's developed here locally, Ricky Lundell being probably the number one.
He's awesome.
And
you can round it out with.
I don't have a fourth.
Put your own face up there, buddy.
I'll put my face up there.
Awesome.
What the heck?
Well, now you've got an event going on tomorrow. Let's hear about that real quick.
Actually, we're doing a little party / fundraiser down at Buster Burger in South Jordan. Buster Burger is located at 1079 West and 106 South, and we'll be there from noon until 3. I'll be there signing autographs, and we'll have some video from my World Championships
Get
matches.
your picture taken with the guy who's going to be on the Mount Rushmore. And, traveling to Serbia is not cheap, and he needs help to do those kind of things. And so I'd really like to, invite you to come out and be a part of that. Now, Kyle Herrera, I know you've got an opinion on this Mount Rushmore thing.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't have much time to think about it, but I have to go with Mike Stidham, first of all.
Oh, man, I love
Absolutely.
you.
I've known you since I was, 5 years old?
Yeah.
So, Brandon Ruiz, it's a pleasure for him to even be here right now, and definitely put him up there. I like
Brittany. What about Brittany?
Of course, Brittany.
She's the most awesome ring girl ever, right?
Absolutely.
Put her up there. It's going to make it a little more beautiful mountain.
Yeah. Court McGee, he's awesome. And then the new up-and-comer I'm really starting to like is Jason South.
Oh, nice. I was going to say Brittany coming and Brittany going.
Holding the ring card.
She's so awesome both ways, man. You got to consider
I've
that.
Noticed. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about what you got going on. What's happening with Kyle Herrera?
I got a fight next weekend with Mario Espinoza. I've never been so excited for a fight.
He's a gamer. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a war. I'm going to bring it. I know he's going to bring it. It's going to be. We have a lot of similar styles. He's tough, strong, a lot of heart. That's me. Plus technique on my end, so I think it's going to go my way.
I think you got the technical advantage. He's a strong kid, and so I think that's kind of a coin toss. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I looked at the fight card. I wasn't super excited about the main event, but when I saw this fight, I go, man, that one I don't want to miss. That's going to be gangbusters.
I'm so excited for it.
So what else you got going on? I heard you were doing some jousting.
I was trying to get into jousting, with Jake. And
you're the second jouster we've had on the show.
Yeah, Charlie, promised me a gig doing jousting, and it kind of fell through for me. Jake's the only one that kind of made it in. So
Charlie seems a little inconsistent.
Yeah, I was training. He told me to train, and I'd go up to West Valley 3 times a week and start training, but it kind of fell through for me.
So where can people see the big fight you're fighting next week? And by the way, this is kind of Mushin versus the world. How cool is it to have all your teammates lined up and you guys are going to be sharing a dressing room and kind of feeding off each other? Are you guys looking for the big shutout?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Talk about that dynamic, though.
It's going to be Mushin versus the world. What do we got, 4 or 5?
4 or 5 guys.
Guys. So it's going to be a clean sweep. We've all been training super hard for this. it's been a crazy fight camp. And
This has been the best fight camp we've had since the days of Trevor Osborne and Dustin Gopison.
Which, by the way, when I was thinking back about some of the iconic fighters, man, you got to bring up those guys. You know, those guys were right up there because, again, not only the way they fought, but the way they acted and the way they handled themselves. So I miss those guys. And it's so awesome to see that wave of Mushin fighters kind of coming back through and really in a big way on the same night. I think that's very cool. Was that intentional? Was that on purpose, or you guys just all kind of happened on the card?
kind of all fell through on the same card, yeah.
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
nothing intentional happens with promoters and fighters in our gym.
I wanted to fight. You know, I'm always wanting to fight. So I heard everybody else was too in the card. So that makes it awesome, you know.
So, Kyle, you're a beautiful man. What makes you want to fight? What makes you want to get slugged in that beautiful face right there?
I don't know. You know, I started training with Jake Paul. He dragged me to one of his classes one day, and I said I want to fight one time, and
did you guys meet on the Zoolander set, or where did you guys meet?
we went to Mushin. He has day classes at Mushin, and I started with Jake Paul. And before I know it, I was loving it. Went to night class with Brandon Kiser and Brandon Yamasaki, and it's been never looked back. So it's been
Kyle
great
is
stuff.
one of the few of the Jake Paul disciples who does fully participate in everything there, which is awesome. And I think that's why that's going to be a big part of his success.
So who else do you have on the card from your group?
Troy Dennison.
Oh, Troy's training up there now.
Troy's training up there, and he's fighting, and Jake Paul, and then this.
Do you know who Troy's fighting?
I can't remember who Troy's fighting. I'm not sure. No.
A speed bump.
He's fighting Little Espinoza, isn't he?
No, that's Dan Barry.
Dan Barry's also
okay.
fighting.
Dan's also from your group up there.
Yeah.
Man, that's a solid crew.
Yeah, we got a good thing going right now.
That is pretty cool, man. I'm pretty excited about it. So, Mushin Self Defense, if you want to come up and train with these big guys, how do they go about doing that, Brandon?
Give us a call at 801-296-0734 or Google us.
Okay.
That's the easiest way these days.
All right, good enough. Well, now I want to thank again. I think you guys you had some input. I want to get your Mount Rushmore, Utah Mount Rushmore. Go.
I kept it to fighters: Josh Berkman, Brandon Melendez, Steve Sharp, and Jake Paul.
They all have spiky hair. Well, no, except I guess Berkman. Well, it's good, you know, and you keep it to fighters. Well, you didn't win this time because you didn't have me on there, so you're taking second place at the very best.
Who won?
Robertina. Robertina's the big winner here. All right, well, again, next week you can check it out. The big fight's over at the Complex. That's like 4th West and 2nd
right by
South.
Gateway.
All right, go check it out. You'll see a bunch of gnarly-looking people going into the show. We'll see you next week on Ultimate Combat Radio.